Hello there. This is a very important update regarding asset AQL functionality that is now going to be removed at the end of March. So if you are using this one, you probably want to check this to see if you are affected. So let's jump into the community article and see what this is and how bad it is. So here we are now in the community article, and this one is from Justin King from the Atlassian team. And the way they are doing this one, or what they are telling us, is that the asset AQL function that is called anyAttribute, they will remove this one. They will retire this one at the end of March 2024. Now, before I move on to what they are saying here, I just want to say that I think this is very bad. This is not how I think this one should be communicated. You should not have a deprivation of functionality, a removal of functionality, published only here in the community, because the vast majority of Atlassian users do not work here. They are not here. They don't get this information. This one should go out in an email. Anytime that you have anything where you remove functionality, it must go out in an email to everyone who owns an Atlassian platform. So we are aware of this one, and I have quite a few instances, and I have not received any email about this. So if this one has gone out, then might want to check to make sure you don't miss anyone, because like I said, I haven't received it. I know a bunch of other people that never heard about this one either, and they have assets in their instances. So Justin and Atlassian, please, anytime that you do anything that is a reduction of service, where you remove functionality, then you must make sure that this one is marked very clearly. Because I'm not the only one who has been screwed over, and I know this goes against your policies, but we have been screwed over. I actually had a class where I was going to present advanced roadmaps with resource management, and I was just a week before I was going to hold it, the functionality was removed and no one informed anyone about it. So please, please don't do this. Or do this, but also send out emails and mark these very clearly. This is not an update. This should be a removal of functionality. Make sure that this one has a big warning sign on it, so everyone knows that this one is happening. So enough ranting about communication and how we should improve it. Let's dive into what you are doing here. So in assets, there is an AQL function then called anyAttribute. The way that one works then, it allows someone to search for objects containing a given value without having to specify an attribute. So you can search for things without specifying an attribute. And this one is something I assume that a lot of people are using. I'm not using it, but I'm guessing a lot of people are using it because you don't have to specify a specific attribute, so you can get more data out by just having this generic call. And as expected, I don't think anyone is surprised that when you do this, when you do have an unspecified call, you will have some changes. Poor query performance, for example. Yes, you're querying everything and not specifying the attribute. And this one will then slow things down and it will be a bad user experience. I'm 100% on board with this one. And I think that having this one in the beginning was probably because people weren't using 3 million data objects. So it probably worked on smaller data sets. But the problem is that they cannot just change it. So what they have done is that they have realized that we can't really fix this problem, so we have to remove it. So they are retiring the functionality. And again, this does not, I'm not against this at all. I think that if we have bad functionality or things that are degrading our performance, this wasn't really the best options for us now and was poorly implemented before, or we didn't see the problem when we implemented it before, then it should be removed. Absolutely, no problem with that one. And the problem is just this is not until the 31st of March, and this one was announced January 22nd, so it's 2.5 months, less even. And this one then, what will happen then is this functionality will no longer be available in the AQL queries, and it also will be removed from the APIs. And this is not a very long time. most teams that are working in the Atlassian products are working a lot, and they don't have the time to actually refactor things. And for me, for example, I own multiple instances, and I also have multiple teams. And so for me to actually be able to communicate this within this time frame and also help the users then to change this to something else. If you have, like I have, 300, 400 teams that needs to do this one in just one of our instances, then this will take a while. And this is a very short time window to actually do this in. And most people don't even know if they have it. So if you have like hundreds or thousands of queries that you are doing through the APIs or through asset themselves, or even custom fields, then it's not an easy task to actually figure out where am I using the anyAttributes. You basically have to go through everything that you have related to assets to find it. So that's it's a little bit too short. I would have said let's do this by June to give everyone ample time. Have 2 or 3 extra emails sent out just to remind them, just like we have done for servers, for example. That one took 3 years. We could do this in 6 months and making sure everyone have time for it. Because what will happen at March 31st is that a lot of administrators in Jira will get a bunch of tickets from people that now do not have their custom fields, their APIs and stuff like that will now stop working. And they will be angry about it. And I will be the one, or other administrators like me will be the one that take the blame for it, even though we have nothing to do with this. So it's very important to communicate this one very clearly, that you are removing functionality, not changing it, but you are removing it. Now they say your understanding and cooperation greatly appreciated. Of course, we understand, everyone understand that, yes, this was not something that we want to have, and we understand that you need to remove it. Just don't just post it up here in the community. Send it to us. So everyone who owns any application or any product that can handle assets, so any Jira Service Management with Premium or above, that they get an email for it. And mark that very clearly, that is removal of functionality. So we are aware. So please make sure that you also give us plenty of time to actually fix this one, because we are not just sitting on our thumbs. We are working full time doing other things. Most of us have big projects that we're working on. Many of us right now are working on migrations, for example, because server is going out. Or we're trying to do the follow-up after we have moved to cloud, for example. So having just barely 2 months to communicate with hundreds of users. Some of us have thousands and some tens of thousands of users. And then trying to find everywhere where this could be an issue. That's not very, very fun for us as administrators. But if we look at it from a positive perspective, I'm glad that you're removing this one. I'm glad that you see that this one leads to poor performance. And I'm glad that you are now pushing people to do improper queries rather than having this blanket statement, for example. So I'm glad about the change. I'm just not glad how it was communicated, and not glad really about the time frame for it. But Justin and all of you in the asset team there, good work on picking this one up. And of course, we will support you in the endeavor to get rid of bad queries here. We will work as hard as we can, and hopefully we will be able to do it before March 31st. So that was it. If you are affected by this one, if you have assets, and then you need to go through this one and make sure you don't have anything in your instance that is related to it, because then people will come to you on March 31st and complain about their functionality not working. And if they have a business critical setup in Jira Service Management, then this could cause damage to your ability to actually support your customers, for example. So get to it, and let's see if we can help Justin and his team to get this one fixed before March 31st. Otherwise, let's scream at him and tell him to move it back a little bit. So that was all for this video. So until next time, I hope you will have an awesome day and a great week.